Hello YouTube, Danger Evolution Dan, bringing you uh, one of my deck profiles for Infernities. I know a lot of people saw it in my last video, and they actually PM me and comment me for the deck list. So I thought I'd show you guys, and I thought I'd show like a little like how MCO 40 does, like the little gadget thing. I thought I'd show you on another side of Infernities and what's a side deck if you can't really afford the really expensive cards. So let's just get right into the deck. I'm gonna show you my deck list. I run triple Archfiend. Pretty much sets up the big plays. You get either Launcher, Infernity, or you search out for any Infernity card you need. It's a really good card, and if you top deck it with no cards in your hand, you can just show it to your opponent as special summons, which is gonna do the same effect, but you get a +1. Next is Necromancer. He actually special summons, so it's another way to special summon Archfiend. And he steps up for level 8, which in this deck is pretty much all you need, like someone like crazy synchros. So Necromancer is a must in this deck. 2 Infernity Mirage. I decided to run 2 instead of 3. I think 3 is a dead draw. Sorry about that. It's message. So I'm just running 2. He pretty much search out either if you have 2 Archfiends in the graveyard or Archfiend and Necromancer, and you can set up for synchros or look for Infernity launchers or your barriers again. So for tuners, we have 2 Avengers and 1 Plague Spreader. I decided to run 2 Avengers because of its effect. When you have no cards in your hand, then he becomes a level 4 depending on the monster that got destroyed. Which, if it's a Necromancer or Infernity Archfiend, you know, it becomes a level 3 or 4, depending on what card you let die. So this card is amazing, and plus it's a tuner himself. If you have a Necromancer in the graveyard, you revive him with we do the most normal plays, Archfiend, Necromancer, and then you go for Avenger, and then you go for 100 Eyes or something like that. And I chose to run Plague Spreader because you can top deck a card and you get a -1 in your hand, which it revolves the deck. Like, you need the deck to have a minus in there. Another card, Street Patrol. This card is amazing actually. You remove from play this card in the graveyard to special summon 1 fiend monster with 2000 or less attack from your hand. So if you have Archfiend and you have this card in the graveyard with no cards in your hand, then you summon Archfiend, he gets special summon, and you set up your big plays. This card is a good support for this deck. So let's just get to other supporters. 2 dark Greffers. You discard a dark monster, and then you get to throw another dark monster to the graveyard, which you get a -1, and you get the monsters that you need in the graveyard. Most likely you do to discard Archfiend for another Archfiend. You have a Necromancer in your hand, or depending on the place, then you set up big time with this. I decided to run 1 Armageddon Knight, mostly to get Street Patrol into the graveyard faster. Or if you need another stuff like an Archfiend, then this card is amazing. I'm only running 1 instead of 2 because I think the 1 is perfect. So let's go with that's it for the monster lineup. Let's go for spells. We have Monster Reborn now that it's back. You can revive your Archfiend, your Necromancer, get pluses with them. 1 launcher. It hurt the deck when it went down to 1, but it's still very playable. It has a double effect. Not many people use it. The first effect is when you have an Archfiend card in your hand, then you can discard it, and it's a -1 in your hand. So that's actually pretty good with this card. 1 for 1, you set up for Mirage. You know, you special summon, you get your move quickers as well. I chose 2 MSTs and 1 Giant Trunade for back row removal. You pretty much set up, and then you have like 3 or 4 singers at the same time. I run 2 Book of Moons mainly because of Thunder Kings, and I hate this deck. Hate Thunder Kings, so that's why I decided just to run 2. 1 Rhoda to search out Dark Greffer or Armageddon Knight to set up the big place, and Foolish Burial, you know, to foolish most of the cards in here. Now for trap cards, I run Triple Barrier. You guys know what it does. Negates pretty much everything, and it's an amazing card. Infernity Break. Another amazing card I just found out actually. You remove your Mirage or barriers and destroy one card on the field. This card is really broken. I'm gonna try it out actually more. 2 bottomless staples, 3 infernos, pretty staples and infinities. And these are all staples. Call of the Hunted, Mirror Force, Torrential, Solemn, Dust Tornado, and Trap Stun. So let's just get with the extra board. This is actually Dark End Dragon. I don't have one right now because I kind of sold all of them, but that's supposed to be Dark End. This deck synchro summons for level 8 a lot, and Dark End is a plus in this deck. Brio, Goyo, Iron Chain to set up for. Actually, Iron Chain is not that much needed, but it's always good to have just in case. Angelic Cataster, pretty much level 5s. Sometimes you do go for those. 100 Eyes. I decided 2 instead of 3 because I thought 3 was too much. And I'm running 1 Infernity Doom Dragon. I think just 1 is enough because most of your monsters are always special summoned, so you don't need to have that 1 Infernity card there. 2 Stardust, Colossal Fighter, Thought Ruler. This is Red Dragon, Archfiend, and Mistworm. Mistworm is still very prevalent on the deck. Sometimes you're gonna synchro summon for level 9, and you get this out. So I thought I'd show you this deck right now, because a lot of people thought that this deck was gonna die. And it is kind of slow, but Street Patrol actually made it pretty fast again. So I thought about these cards. I know a lot of people don't run them anymore, which are 3 Beetles, Allure, and I guess these 3 cards. If you guys can afford, actually, let's say you guys can afford barriers, my advice is to run Starlight Road. It protects all your monsters because you always want to have more than 1 monster on the field. So this sets up for Torrential, Dark Hole. If your opponent's trying to Black Rose, then this actually a setup, and you get a free Stardust, which is actually pretty good. So I'll take out a barrier. If you guys can afford a barrier, then my advice is to run Starlight Road. Probably another one that can be for fairy barriers, another Dust Tornado. The deck runs 1, but I think one more Dust Tornado could replace the other barrier. It's the back row removal that really annoys you. And now with a lot with Heavy Storm banned, a lot of people set up a lot. So Dust Tornado is always good, and that can actually be replaced for barriers. Another card, Compulsory, annoying GBs. GBs hurts his deck a lot, and possibly Quick Draw as well. So this just sends it back, and it gives you a -1 in your hand, which is pretty good. Or like if you have an Archfiend and you're trying to summon it, and then they're bottomless, then you do this, and then you set up. I've done that a lot of times. You set up for a big play. You just waste their back row removals with this card. Phoenix Windblast, get your Plague Spreader into the graveyard. Street Patrol, get your opponent's monster out of the graveyard, out of the field, and it's just an amazing card. Allure of Darkness, I don't like this card, but if you plan to run 3 Beetles, I guess run Allure, because some people can't afford Street Patrol or something. I'm trying to actually make it for budget players, and just run 3 Beetles and run Allure. I guess you can Allure 1 because you always want to have 2 Beetles in your hand, and that's kind of annoying. So that's what I thought I would show you guys, like some ways out of the deck. Like Beetle, you guys can take out probably Plague Spreader, or the Avengers, 1 Avenger and Street Patrol, I guess, and add the 3 Beetles. The Allure you can actually add into the deck. Take out. You can just add it to the deck. I mean, because Beetles are target for Allure, so you get +2 and -1, which is not that big of a deal for this deck if you run Beetles. And so this card can replace Infernity Barrier, or another Infernity Break can replace it. So if you guys don't have that way to get Infernity Barriers, I think these 4 cards can replace it. Probably there are more, so if you guys know some, just hit me up, because these are the 4 that I can just think of out of my head. And yeah, so I thought I'll show you like a little preview of the deck that I'm probably going to be running regionals. So I just thought I'd show you guys some ways out if you guys can't afford some of the cards. So I hope I actually got to use some of the people, and I just hope you guys like the deck. So comment, rate, subscribe, like, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Then out.